Welcome back to the channel. My name is Iris. If this is your first time here, welcome in. Hope you stay and decide to become a friend. So we're going to do a Valentine's Day look today. I have not done a full glam tutorial in a while, so this is going to be interesting. You guys know my signature is not full glam, so we're going to get into it today though. I will have all the products that I'm using listed in the description box below. If you are interested in my base routine, I do have I believe a shorts on here as well as on my TikTok where you can see the base routine as far as the products that I use and how I get my skin like this before I go on with my makeup application. So with Valentine's Day coming up, what are some of the things that you guys do? You know, the normal, I don't say normal, but the, you know, cliche thing to do is to go out to dinner. I don't think I'm gonna do that this year. Maybe we will, I don't know. The last couple of years we did go out, but not necessarily on Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day is usually super busy unless you're going to a specialty restaurant, and then in that case you have reservations. But we usually go out or do a day date versus, you know, going out that night. So right now I'm going in with a Nars foundation. This has become one of my favorite foundations to use. It's the light reflecting, and I think I was always afraid to use it because I have oily skin, but this seems to be doing really well. So this year makes 15 years for my wedding anniversary, you guys. And so, you know, after being together for so long, Valentine's Day is just another day. We always, you know, do things together, take trips together every year. So, you know, I always think of Valentine's Day as like the new love, the new age, you know, holiday where y'all are really, you know, going out buying different things and, you know, whatnot. But we do that all year long, so it's not that big of a deal to us. But y'all have fun. Let me know what y'all do. But I am curious, do you have like a tradition that you do? I know I've seen some people say that they always go back to the restaurant they went to when they first started dating, you know, couples that are doing that, which I think is really sweet and sentimental. To be honest, I can't even remember the first restaurant we went to that many years ago. But if you do something like that, I think that would be really cool. So one of the things that we do actually you know, do for Valentine's Day is exchange gifts. Usually it's not anything super, you know, fancy, extravagant, but we do, you know, like to give one another a little something. And I'm really good at like listening to people throughout the year or in recent times close to a holiday where they mention that it's something they really like or want, and then I'm getting it for them. That's just my way of making sure I'm getting you something that you like, and also that, you know, I don't have to send it back. Do you guys remember your first Valentine's Day? Like, who was your very first Valentine? My husband always gets something for the kids. He would really get something for my daughter, and then I would get something for my son just to show how much we love them and appreciate them. I think my first Valentine was like at school. You know how we used to always have those little cards you had to tear apart and put a sucker, like a little sucker stick in the little slits. That was pretty cool. But nowadays, y'all, these kids for Valentine's Day, they are doing like the most. I mean, like big jumbo cards. They are giving like the stuffed animals, like little small girlfriend proposals. Like, this is like, what in the world? I mean, I like to see it, but I think it's a little advanced depending on the age. Now I'm going to further set my under eyes, and I'm going to use the One Size pink powder. This is ultra pink. I've used this before, so I know that it's not going to do too much, but I am going to put it like right here only, right? Because it's really bright. I don't know if you can see the difference in the appearance here, but it is brighter. Now that I have all my powder down, I'm going to go in with my first spray of the Danessa Myricks Yummy Liquid Blurring Balm Spray. And I love this because it is just like a really light mist. It feels like air flowing on your skin, and it's not really wet and heavy drops. So this is another chef's kiss. Feels good. I'm going to use a blush today. It's called Luna Magic. I think this is the shade name is Anita, and it's a blush. I can't remember exactly where I got this from, but it is like a really kind of red color blush. It's a really deep color blush. So we're going to use this today on our cheeks, and if I remember correctly, this one like shows up very easily. So we're going to take a light hand with this. I'm going to use this dual fiber brush just to do a little tap because I don't want a lot of product. There's just a little bit on here. We're going to use that right up in here, and yes, it is very pigmented. Like you see that, like that was just a little bit, and that's how much I got as far as color payoff. So a little definitely goes a long way with this. We're just gonna put it right up in here, and on this side it's a little more heavy, so we're just gonna go back in with a little bit of powder and we'll diffuse that out, not a problem. Now let's move on to the eyes. I want to do something really smoky with the eye look today, so we're going to try that out. I do have a idea in my mind of what I want this to look like, but we're going to see what happens. And I'm going to use two of my favorite palettes, which the majority are Juvia's Place. So we're going to go back. So we're going back to like one of the OG Juvia's Place palettes, and this is the Magic palette. And I'm going to be using the silver grayish metallic color right here from this palette, and try to do, I don't know if I'm gonna do a halo eye or just kind of a smoked out foil eye look. So we're gonna go for that today. The first thing I'm going to do is go back in with my bronzer that I used, which is by L'Oreal, and it is in the shade Soft Sable, and it's a oldie but goodie. As you can see, I've definitely hit pan here, but there's still product, so I'm still gonna use it. We're just gonna go kind of in that crease and draw that crease out with the eyeshadow. Again, I'm like right in the crease. The brush that I'm using here is a Morphe M412. And I like it because it's got a nice point to it, so it fits right inside the crease of my eye very well. And my eyelids are not set. Usually I would set my eyelids with some type of primer base. I didn't do that today just because I want this, although it's going to be dramatic, I still want it to be soft because that's who I am. So the only thing that's like in my crease area, there's nothing directly on my lid, is just the concealer that I used from when I concealed under my eyebrows. And as I'm blending this in my crease, whatever product may be left on that brush, I'm going to bring it down my nose. And that is how I do my slight, very light contour of my nose. It's light, it's like light. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm going to go in with my lid color. I believe the color is called Vi, V-A-I. So I'm going to use that on this e.l.f. blush. No. I'm using an e.l.f. blending brush. And these, you know, were like $2. They've gone up since then, but it's still a really inexpensive brush. And this is just a blending brush from e.l.f. And I like it because it's fluffy, so it's not going to pick up too much product. And it's going to give me a light application versus a stiff brush, which is going to give me kind of more of a patchy look. But if you want like really full coverage, then you can spray that brush and then apply it, and you'll get like a really heavy foil. I want a light foil, so I'm going in with a fluffy brush. And I'm going to start in the center because I'm not exactly sure where I want this color to take me. I'm going to keep it in the center because I think I'm going to go for a halo eye here today. Again, this is Valentine Glam, so we want to go a little higher and a little more out there than we normally would. This is very pretty. I almost forgot. That's why you got to reach back and get those products that you hadn't used in a while. Stop buying so much new stuff and go back and use what you already have. Because that is my goal this year. I'm not buying any more eyeshadows at all, period. Looks good. Now I'm going to go back in with that first brush that I used for my crease. I'm not adding any product to it, but I'm going to use this and just do a windshield wiper motion in that crease just to blend out any of that color that did get into the crease. Gonna softly blend that into the shade that's already there. As you can see, that looks a lot better so far. Now let's go in and smoke this thing out. We're going to now change palettes and go into one of my all-time fave palettes, which is the Juvias Place Chocolate palette. We're gonna go in with this first shade right here in the palette. And I'm using a smaller brush. This is the Morphe M506. This brush is really good because these are my inner and outer corners of the eye, which is a smaller area, so I will need a smaller blush. I need a smaller brush that is going to blend those areas. I'm going to start at the outer and blend inward. I'm blending inward slowly, building up that color. And if you want to, after you've got most of that color in that V area, you can then smoke it out if you want and pull it out this way, just to give it like a nice fade. This is so pretty. And then I'm slightly blending that into that crease. Not going past the halfway point though. Don't worry about the first color we put in the center. We can always go and add back more of that if we lose it while we're blending this shade. So that's the outer corner. Now let's go in the inner. I'm going to do the same thing really lightly. If you want to, you can absolutely go ahead and just pack in the color, meaning just pack it on before you start blending it out. Just be careful because it's harder to remove what's there. Once it's there, you can always add more. So I always like to start small and build from there. I'm going to slightly bring that into the crease in the inner corner as well. It looks pretty good so far. I'm going to do the other eye. When it comes to a smoky eye look, it's all about back and forth, blending, blending, back and forth, blending, blending. We're going back in with that silver shade that we put in the center. We're going to add more of that because we did lose some of that with all the blending that we just did. So we're going to go back and add some of that in. Again, only focusing this on the center. Okay. And we're just bringing it back forward because it got blended away a little bit. We're just bringing it back forward. I'm going to slightly overlap it on the other color that I did just to blend them together a little bit more. I'm not going into the crease this time at all. I'm just focusing this strictly on the lid. And if you want, you can just pat it on, which is going to give you more coverage. Now this part is optional. You can absolutely leave it blown out if that's the look you're going for. I want it to be a little bit more crisp, so I am going in with the concealer just to kind of clean up that space there. Now I will say I don't like it to be like a very harsh line there, so I do like to take a kind of a fluffier brush of some sort and just kind of play around just a little bit in that space, just so it's not so harsh. Now if you're going to do a wing liner, then it really doesn't matter. Now we're going to focus on our bottom lash line. I'm going to use those same brown, the same brown shade I used from this chocolate palette. I'm going to put this to the bottom. Again, this is more of a date night look, so we're going smoky, going all out with this glam. I'm happy with that. I'm going to use a brown liner. I would use a black, but I don't want to go too dark. I don't really like black liner that much, so I'm going to go with a brown liner. This one is Smoking Topaz from NYX. And when you're using this, it's okay to get a little bit on the lash line as well, if that is your style. I actually like it. I like a little messy liner, and I also like my mascara a little messy on my bottom lashes. Before we go in with mascara and do our lips, I do want to add a bit of a glow because, again, this is like a date night look, right? Valentine's Day date night. We want to be glowing in the dark, right? We should be using Enlight from Danessa Myricks, and this one is Gocha Glow, I believe. Yeah, Gocha Glow. I'm going to lightly add this. Again, lightly. Because a little goes a long way with this product. And we're just putting it kind of right where we put that blush, so it's going to sit kind of right on top of that a little bit. And I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm going to add a little bit in my brow bone. That's something that I normally do not do. I don't know what's gotten into me today, but we're going to do it today. So let's go ahead and add, and I'm going to use this same brush that I used for my lid. I did dust it off, and so we're going to go in with just a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit to that brow bone right up in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's go in with our mascara, and I'm going to be using Maybelline Colossal Bubble Mascara. This mascara is amazing. I know I put up some blush down. I want to go in with another color, and this one is from Covergirl True Blend Soft Fuse Blush. This is Hot Frenzy. Yeah, this one looks good. And I had to add just a little bit to the nose as well. All right, so this is the face. We're going to now go on and move on to the lips. I'm going to do one of my absolute favorite lip combos, and I'm using NYX and Anastasia Beverly Hills. These two products together. This is the NYX Line Out Loud lip pencil in the shade No Whining. So we're going to use this to line our lips. It's so beautiful. Now I do have a bit of a gloss on my lips, and that is just a plumping gloss from NYX that I use. No, this is actually Morphe. This is a Hot Honey's Morphe plumping gloss. I usually put that on while I'm doing my base and leave it on. I'm actually going to leave that gloss there. Now for the lip color, I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills in Pomegranate Lip Velvet. You guys seen me use this before. It's a favorite of mine, especially for this time of year. It's going to give me a nice red family lip, but not a bold red. So we're going to use this. All right, so here we have it, our nice Valentine's Day glam. This is more high glam than what I would normally do. So we have our halo eye, our foiled halo eyes. We added some highlighter under the brow, also on those cheekbones. And then we did a little something in the red family for the lips. So let me know what you guys think about this tutorial. Is this the type of glam you would wear on Valentine's Day, or do you do something more natural? Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Again, all of the products used will be in the description box below, and I will catch you guys on the next video. If you guys are interested in any type of makeup tutorials or any product reviews, then definitely let me know. I want to make sure I give you guys what you are looking for as being a subscriber to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.